Hey guys, I'm learning TFT and I'm sharing my learnings with you so that you can learn and I can learn better as well. In this video, I'm going to share with you a coaching session with Broseph on Kaisa Reroll. If you want to jump straight into that video, take a look at the timestamp in the description below. I'm going to first do a high-level overview about Kaisa. There's actually a few variants that you can play around Kaisa, and the core is going to be for Supreme Cell. And for Supreme Cell, when you have 4, you get to have 2 Supremes, and your damage amp goes up to 50%. So just a lot of damage amp. The other thing, by the way, with Kaisa is she scales permanent AD over time. So you really want to make sure that you are getting her in early and specifically winning stage 3, like being very aggressive on 3-2, rolling down, hitting your 2 stars so that you can full streak stage 3. Since you really need to get those stacks, and this is not really a win out comp most of the time. Although if you can hit a bunch of 3 stars, then it does have a pretty reasonably high cap if you can get your Kaisa to scale. But usually that means you're like full streaking the whole game. So there's a few variants. I believe the highest cap is the Ramis variant, where you put in Aatrox for Juggernaut with Udyr and Heavyweight with Darius, and then this fits perfectly in at 7, where you can roll at 6 to hit your Kaisa, or if you're close to hitting Kaisa, level and roll at 7, because then you have better odds for your Ramis and your Darius. Of course, this is very expensive, so you gotta make sure you have enough gold to actually hit that. Alternatively, you can play a 4 Juggernaut board, so you can play Aatrox and go for Mundo or Vi. So this fits in at 8, so usually you won't actually have like 4 Supreme Cell. And Akali is going to be harder to hit, right? But if you're rolling at 6, then you might be playing something like this, where you have 4 Juggernaut. And you can 3-star. Mundo is your preferred 3-star, but sometimes Mundo's a lot more contested. Maybe you hit a 3-star Vi instead. So this is probably lower cap than Ramis 3, but lower variance to hit this because you have lots of different outs here. And then the last variant is actually a mentor variant, where this is quite similar to the Gangplank build, except with Supreme Cell, where Kobuko and Darius share Heavyweight, Udyr and Kaisa share Duelist, and Rise and Akali share Executioner. So, and then you try to main tank your Kobuko. So 3 different variants. You really want to just lean towards the one that is least contested. Like if you see a bunch of Juggernauts in your lobby, then lean away from this, unless you hit a bunch already. So it's really about scouting your lobby to see what's uncontested, which is why Ramis usually makes sense if you have enough gold to get there, because Ramis is usually uncontested. The other key thing about Kaisa, the really high cap situation, is you want to get her like out of an orb or in stage 1 and find over 9,000. This is the power up that gives you permanent stat bonuses. And so anytime you see an early Kaisa, you should be putting your power up on as early as possible because you can gain those stacks in stage 1. Alternatively, Bullet Hell and Precision are both good. If you have Precision, you don't need a Shojin, since, I mean, you can still have a Shojin, but it basically replaces a Shojin since attacks grant 10 more mana, which is exactly what Shojin does. Too much value can be quite good. Pandora's Bench. Radiants are very good. Artifacts are quite good in this, especially Fishbones. Fishbones has a super high cap since she could just skip the front line. Mana Zane lets her cast more. But yeah, this comp really wants to make sure that you win the mid game, because that's what lets you both put a lot of pressure on the lobby when you can be strong, since it doesn't have a high cap in the end game, and every time you win could be a place difference basically in stage 3 especially. So Yeah, with that said, I hope you find this coaching session with Broseph helpful. It certainly was for me in helping me understand how to play this comp better, but more specifically, general fundamentals around how to play two cost, reroll, and comps that are designed around being strong in the mid game, but maybe it doesn't have the highest cap in the game. So enjoy this coaching session with Broseph. Yeah, I was figuring maybe we can spend like 10, 15 minutes doing a really quick meta like overview, or at least I have my own like kind of meta list that I
Sure.
put together. I want to get your feedback on
Hmm.
it. I know Marcel's putting
Yeah.
together one in like
Yep.
a little bit, so maybe
Hmm.
just like very brief, high level initial thoughts. And I know there's like not that much stats right now yet either. And then I have a VOD that maybe we can go into. How's that sound?
For sure. Yeah, that sounds perfect to me. All right. Yeah, I can take a look at what your read currently is.
Okay, let me share my screen. Can you see this?
Yeah.
All
Well,
right.
that's pretty cool format. It looks a little bit unclear to me on the right. I don't know if that's important or not.
Oh, this side? Okay.
Yeah, I'm.
That a little
Yeah, the left
better?
side's also a little bit. If you could zoom in, that yeah, this is pretty good.
Okay.
Cool.
So this right side is I compared this new patch to last patch.
Yep.
And then this diff is the like AVP diff. So
Yep.
main thing is Edgelord got worse. I didn't even put a Kali here because it's like off the radar. And then
Yep.
uh, the ones that got better is Crew. So
Yep.
I think I had a session with Marcel yesterday saying that, and this was before the C patch was even announced, that Akali,
Hmm.
like Crew is bad against Akali, but good against Volley. And
Yep.
so with Akali out of the meta, then that helps Crew. All the standard like backline stuff like Ashe, Yumi get better with Akali out of the picture. And
Yep.
then I think those were the major minuses. Crew, I guess, Fast Nine Varus. Someone was just playing that in a game that I was playing. That seemed to
Hmm.
work out well.
Yep. That comp was
Um,
very weak against the Kali, especially trying to get there. You just lose 50 every time you face it.
uh-huh. Okay. So this seems like reasonably viable now, if in the
Yep.
right spot, and it has a
Yep.
really good win rate.
Hmm.
And then okay, yeah, and then like Jace Kate seems to, so like I basically converted this right side here over to a general tier list. So I have at S tier Jace Kate, and these are like more so defaults, not the. I haven't
Yep.
updated this. I had like last patch I had like a conditions section about which
Hmm.
lines to play.
Yep.
Um,
They're mostly the same, just not. Well, yeah, they're like mostly the same, I think.
yeah, okay. So then like Karma Yumi still like kind of caps lower. It has like really bad win rate. So I
Hmm.
think this is more so from ahead. And then Karma seems like a decent just default line for AP.
Yep.
Um,
I agree.
and then like Marcel was saying last patch that these four are kind of all power up checks, mostly like over
Uh,
9,000. Um, and then the Star Guardian is the was it Syndra with Rising Chaos to
yeah,
just
that's
like
good.
tempo it.
Yep.
Um, and then yeah, like I guess for this patch now, it seems like you could maybe even just play Star Guardian by default. I'm not exactly sure without like a really amazing Rising Chaos angle,
Have
but
you looked at my match history lately?
no.
I'll send it. I'll send it. Yeah, if you can pull it up, you can just take a you just take a quick look at what I've been doing.
How many games have you played so far?
This patch like less than 5 or so,
Okay.
but if you take a look at the Star Guardian games,
So this was Rising Chaos. Were they all Rising Chaos?
yeah, they're all Rising Chaos. So it's not very many, but I got a few.
Yeah. And so you're this game, did you take it off? Oh wait, no, this is
No,
Prodigy.
that's a Yumi game. That's a
Okay,
Yumi
yeah,
game.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Like, so basically, Marcel was saying Syndra 2 Rising Chaos is like having a 4 cost.
Yes, yeah, it is. Because she does really well in long fights, and um, she does really well in long fights. I went up against one of the only other comps that does better in long fights. But uh, the way that she works is basically that people are not building her in a way that is super strong. So Syndra's by far best stat is attack speed and then mana gen for Syndra. If you take it, like, there's not very many stats for her, especially if you exclude Syndra 3 in the Star Guardian comp. However, she's really, really good with at least 2, if not 3 mana gen items. Some combination of Shojin, Nasher, and Shojin Nasher and Ginsu are all really good for her to have. So you can take a look.
Ginsu.
Yeah, Shojin Nasher, Ginsu. I mean, at least in the filters that I was looking through, like Shojin Nasher, Ginsu are like super desirable to have early into the game.
Okay.
Yeah, I think you for sure want 2 mana gen items, if not 3.
Okay, this is like basically like old school. Like, what was it?
Yes,
2
it
sets
is
ago?
that Syndra. Yeah,
Same Syndra. Yeah.
It is set 12 Syndra. It has well, it doesn't stack between rounds, but it has stacking extra damage over the duration of a round, and I forgot if the other one has shred, but the fact that it has flat shred is super powerful over the course of a fight, because each individual ball shreds more and more. So yeah, this unit is very strong and does much better into a lot of the other meta comps as well. Like, if you look at what else is good, if your frontline is good enough, you can just straight tank the Karma comp and roll through it, even if they have like fairly good. Like, because the problem with like carrying any of the other units is Jinx is pretty hard to hit and kind of like, I don't know, like Jinx just doesn't do very much damage and doesn't particularly benefit from the fight lasting a long time. And Ahri doesn't benefit from the fight lasting a long time either, and doesn't deal that much damage. I think Syndra works very well as like your like big damage dealer, and then Jinx is pretty good at like picking stuff off or doing like high amounts of single target damage. I don't know, the last thing I'll say about the Syndra is that she works very well with investment. Like, as like every unit works pretty well with high investment, but she does particularly well because when you double the amount that she casts, I'm fairly sure you're doing more than double the amount damage, right? Because she gets more and more casts. Like, the more and more casts she does, she gets more and more balls, which not only gives you more damage, from having more of them, they also shred more, which further increases how much damage she does. So stuff like investing like a radiant item into her or like an artifact are also very helpful because of the way that she scales. It's just not linear on Syndra.
Okay, so you'd rather put Radiant on Syndra over any of the other Star Guardians?
Yes. Every other unit, yeah. It's like Radiant. I think it's supposed to usually be Radiant Shojin. If you have 2 Shojins, I think it's probably not Radiant Shojin. It's probably the attack speed item. But if you have only one, it's I think it's supposed to be the Radiant Shojin. You get pretty close to a 1 auto cast.
I see. What's your thought on, like, it seems like a lot of the first and seconds here have Void Staff.
That's just because it's like commonly built.
Because it should
I
take
think the attack speed item is better.
Wouldn't it take their MR to 0 faster?
It would, but wait,
And gives
not
her
really,
mana
because the
regen?
Void Staff happens after.
But
Or like the Void Staff happens, like, the way that it works. Do you know the way that flat MR scales with multiplicative MR?
isn't
Basically,
it?
the flat the flat reduction happens first, and
Uh,
then the multiplicative reduction happens after.
oh, so it
So
gets
if
less and less effective.
yes, exactly. I think void staff. I consider void staff to be rather low priority. On Syndra, I think.
Okay. So you don't even care about JG that much because you're valuing the shred
Oh,
going to
JG is
like.
a good third item. Like JG is a good third item.
Uh-huh.
But as a third item, your first two really want to be mana gen, I think.
Okay.
But like if you got a JG, like you got a JG, right?
But if you could choose, if you could like, let's say you have Pandora's items, you'd want like
Yeah,
Shojin
yeah.
Rageblade Nasher, or like
Yes, that
double
one's
Rageblade.
that one I'm not fully sure about. I think I would want to try Shojin Nasher. Yeah, Shojin Nasher Ginsu. I don't want to try it. I don't know if it's the best one. I think what you're probably doing is similar to Pandora's back in the day. You try to slam an attack speed item and a Shojin as quickly as you can, and then you slam whatever the hell else you can get onto it. Like it could be a Rabadon's or a JG or another attack speed item. I think you would probably be pretty agnostic given that it's a tempo comp. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Um. Okay. But assuming you wanted to cap out and you had like an ideal pick of options, then
Yeah, yeah. I think the ideal pickup options is I think it's okay. The triple in the stat, like I haven't played it is the problem, right?
Yeah.
I literally haven't gotten the spot, so I couldn't tell you, but I feel if it's the best. The stats say it's triple cast. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure the small amount of stats that exist say that it's supposed to be triple cast. So like Shojin Nasher or Ginsu or something like that. Especially if the Ginsu's built early.
Do you remember in set 12, Syndra? Was this set 12? If what was
Yeah,
the
set
best?
12.
It was double Rageblade Shojin, right?
Yes, it was. Yeah,
Okay.
but Ginsu worked differently back then, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, and that was
So like
perma
it was more than
scaling,
twice as good.
and so
Yes,
in the end game, people would take off the double
you
Rageblade,
take off one Ginsu. Yeah.
and then what did they replace it with?
Either a Rab or a JG, I think.
Oh, okay. Okay, so then maybe okay. Gotcha. All right, so in the case that you have this specific Rising Chaos, like you put that S tier then?
Yeah, I would say so. It won't be reflected because it's in the stats, because like it's very rare for people to play it like this. I think almost no one plays it like this. Yeah, but I think it's very good.
Yeah, I tried it yesterday too, and I got like the easiest top four of my life. But I didn't.
The moment you hit Seraphine, the board is really really powerful. You will actually lose to the other like good like fully upgraded boards, like 4-cost boards on stage 4 and 5 until you get the Seraphine, and then once you get the Seraphine, you start to win.
Yeah, so this really only
You crush all the
loses.
low rollers on stage
Yeah,
4. Like anyone who doesn't have their 2-star carry, you should beat.
and assuming you stay ahead of tempo, the only cap board is the one you lost to, right, Ash? Since that can scale more.
Yeah, I think Akali wasn't an amazing matchup at real cap. What else? What else is there? But that comp is gone. I think Sork is a fairly good matchup. Yumi is a little bit hard. Yumi the matchup isn't that good, but
Oh, Yumi scales more.
yes, Yumi also scales a lot. It's like double. It's specifically like double Ginsu Ash and like Arc Yumi. If it's like full spell crit, I think you just outscale them actually.
Okay, so it relies on the opponent having perfect items.
Yeah, or like better scaling. Yeah, because you're building really strong scaling, right?
Yeah.
So, but if there are some ways that other meta comps can get strong scaling as well.
So then, is there a world where it makes sense to not even try to double item, like just don't even itemize Jinx and have like 2 full tanks?
Oh yeah, I think 2 full tanks are not bad, but I think okay. Here's what you for sure want: the 3 Syndra items, and then you want a full set of tank items. After that, you kind of just go with like what, like, because a lot of times you don't have that much agency over your components. You just finish what you have, right? So like it's good to have full Syndra 2 or full Casante 2 Poppy 2, right? Like that would be good.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're off, like if you've just got bows and gloves, right? Those don't really make that many good Poppy items. So you would just put them on Jinx, and I think it's okay.
Okay. Okay. What about the rest of this B tier stuff? Like, how do you feel about how do you feel about non-Rising Chaos Star Guardian and then like
I don't
just
think that
general?
line exists at all. I think there's zero spots. I think there's zero spots where you're angling Star Guardians that don't come from at least playing Syndra or going for Rising Chaos Syndra. Like playing for non-Rising Chaos Star Guardians, I think is just a mistake. I think
Okay.
like every spot that looks like a Star Guardian spot should be a Syndra opener, and in which case you either have it or you should honestly roll for it. Or roll for it or be pivoting out. Like you shouldn't be going into uh you shouldn't be going further into that line with the intention of like selling and moving to Ari. I think Ari loses to like every meta comp, I think.
Yeah, yesterday I had a RE2 before a Syndra, and I had a Rising Chaos Syndra pair, and I hit RE2 first, and I decided to move over, and it ended
That's
horribly.
weaker. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's low key just weaker.
So then let's say that you have a pair of Syndras, and you could
You can roll in
hit.
4. I don't know 4. Oh, are you talking about something else? Okay, yeah.
No, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you willing to roll for the Syndra too? And also, if you miss the power ups, are you willing to like sell the Syndra until you find the Rising Chaos? Is it that strong?
Ah, I think if you have other things to roll for, it's like pretty. It's like very. It's most TFT players will, if they try to identify the good spots to roll on like level 5 or like 6, they'll make significant errors trying to do it well. But like if you got a Syndra pair and like another pair and your items are on the Syndra, I think the roll on 5 or level, like even like the roll on level 5 or level 6, probably 5 actually, it is quite good. Assuming you also know like the various different other units you can hold to improve the quality of your board. So yeah, I'd be willing to roll for it with like my gold. In terms of the what is it called? In terms of rolling your fruits, I would be pretty happy to be like I'd be perfectly fine re-rolling for fruits on either 4-1 or 2-1 and trying to hit Rising Chaos. Yeah, I'd be happy to do that. Just it's a fair gamble because if you've got a good opener for that, it's pretty hard to have. It's probably like your best opener anyways, so you might as well see if you can get Rising Chaos. If you do roll for it, you are heavily incentivized to be playing specifically for it because if you get the Rising Chaos, then the extra fruits aren't so important to have if you're just playing Star Guardians, right? But if you're playing Yuumi, you really don't want to be missing your Super Genius or your Bullet Hell, right? And if you roll for the Rising Chaos, that reduces your chance of having that later in the future, right?
Mhm.
So I would be happy playing for it if I've got like exactly like the Shojin or the attack speed item, rather than like an Archangel, which leans you a bit more towards playing Yuumi. But yeah, if you start rolling for it, you have to play Star Guardians. If being forced to play Star Guardians is fine for your spot, then I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, sounds good. How about the rest of these?
Yeah. Uh. Kaisa seems fine. Kale seems fine. Kata seems fine, though I will say that, bro, there is some like crazy execution diff. Like Wig, if you check out Wigwug's profile, um, you could probably find it. He plays. I think he has like 6 Kata games in the last 20, and they're all really well. And some of them are on the previous patch where Cat is like relatively weaker compared to how it is now.
Mhm.
Um, but like he and like the other scores aren't that good is the funny thing. But what he understands well is like he understands how he needs to position against certain things. He understands the fruit hierarchy quite well. He understands what boards you want to be playing on level 6 and 7, depending on what you hit, and like the alternate boards. And all of that contributes significantly to what the average placement is. I think the average challenger doesn't know how to play this comp that well, and if they're playing at the average challenger level, it's probably not an A tier comp. I think it's like A plus with very good execution. I think
Okay.
like compared to something like Yuumi there's quite a bit less knowledge to be had, I think. Or there's quite a bit more knowledge to be had playing Katarina compared to Yumi. I think Kaisa is also like relatively easier, I think, and like Kale is like you kind of gotta understand the rules of when you can play Kale or not quite well, but Kale, the thing is, it. I, I don't know if I like Kale that much right now, but I think it's like partially a preference thing. For me personally, I personally like. I think Crew is like A plus, and like these are like a tier below, is where I would place it. However, I will admit that part of that comes from the fact that I have a limited amount of knowledge on all of these comps, right? And like the comps I have really good knowledge on is Crew, and I think with good execution, that comp is very good. So you have to know like which sets of fruits you want to be putting on and when, what components are good early, when like you have to know the interval or the how much to roll when, and you need to make sure your augment selection is all correct. There's like a lean towards picking item augments because those are really strong, but you also need to ensure that you have enough money. Picking a good versus bad crew spot can be literally tie broken based on what the encounter is. So like gold sub or scuttle are very different compared to like no encounter. No encounter is quite a bit worse for a crew, for example. So a lot of the like with good execution, I think, or like good knowledge, kind of. I think crew is quite a good comp, and I think Kaisa is a little bit weaker than crew. I think Cat is like probably on average a little bit weaker than Kaisa, and Kale is a little bit weaker than both. But I'll admit for the Kale line, I am not that good at that comp. So like if there's like things that you're meant to do that would make it really good that I'm missing out on, it can be quite a bit higher than how I rate it, which is like probably on a B level. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah. So you would put all of these in B, and do
Yeah,
you like
some level of B.
do
Yeah.
you like Crew at A or even S right now?
I think in the right spot it's S. Like it literally depends on the number of Malphites you have pretty much opener. Like if you've got 3 and you have like a decent augment for it, I think it's really good. The 2 is really suspicious. Like if you're sitting on 2 Malphites, then you need like the boosters. You need like it to be like Scuttle with like good components and the other stuff. But like if you've got Malphite, like Malphite 2 defensive components and a decent augment for it, I think it's very good. It's very strong. Like there are certain augments that are like also like insta broken with it. So like if you can get a Mogul's Mail somehow, it's really really good on Malphite. I think that item is like minus 0.5 on that guy, and that includes the fact that you're ending on it sometimes in the late game, which you don't exactly want to do. So that artifact is particularly good for that comp.
Okay. And then Ashen Soulfighter? Soulfighter maybe even B?
I have no experience with Soulfighter. It looks better in the stats on this patch. I think Ash probably is A. Soulfighter I think should be a bit worse. I believe it is consistently inflated in the stats at least. I think it's consistently inflated in the stats given because of its relative ease to play. I think in like the really really top lobbies, at least on the last patch, it was definitely performing significantly worse than what its stats would suggest because you just make the board. There's nothing you can do. You just have to play the 8 Soulfighter units, and I'm pretty sure that's your best board. And you just lose 2/3 of your fights because better players can make good enough boards, whereas you have relatively low agency playing Soulfighters, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So this seems pretty comprehensive then for S and A tier.
Let me just look at a builder real quick. I think that's right. In terms of the defaultable stuff, yeah, I think so. I think SG Rising Chaos is S. I think Storks is probably S. Akali very bad. Ash probably around A. Volley is like probably high B maybe. Yumi is S. Yeah, I think that's right, and I think some of the rerolls are lower. Yeah, I think some of the rerolls are lower.
Okay.
and approximately distributed how you have them. But it's pretty early into the patch, so time will tell.
Okay. Sounds good. So you always prioritize holding Malphite. Like that's like your one of your top one cost holds.
Yes, like if you were to if you look at this spread, right? Like the spread of comps, I'm looking to see if I have an uncontested crew spot, I'm just gonna take it because it's like a free third, fourth. And if I have a good if I get parts of like the Syndra opener, I'm just holding that whole opener because it plays into Yumi well, it plays into SG well, plays into Sork pretty well, honestly. So I think those are by far the top two things that you want to hold. And then the other kind of opener that you have is you're like settling for an AD opener. It's pretty good with Naruto. And but that even you hold with like Sivir Malphite because it's like pretty strong on the level 3 board. So like Nar plus Juggernauts, especially if you have a Mundo, or Callista is like not even that weak. I think it's like okay as like your other AD opener. I think I think in terms of like Lucian, yeah, I don't like playing Lucian that much.
So you're not
Yeah, I just
playing
don't like playing
Karma
Lucian much.
you're not playing Karma that much then?
I don't end up playing Karma that much, but you can play it from the Syndra. Like it's actually totally fine from the Syndra.
Mm-hmm.
It's just kind of hard to end up in the situations where you have the right items for it. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Can we
That's
jump
it.
into VOD review?
Sure, sounds good. So if you got any specific questions, you can go ahead and hit them up. But I'll be looking for like the big kind of fundamental concepts that I think would be useful to go over.
Okay. The Crabrave. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
let me pull up this separate game really quick just to get your feedback on. I had an insane Crystal Gambit spot here.
Yep.
And then this board beat me 3 times in a row.
What is this? Oh,
Can you explain to me? Is it over? Marcel was saying over 9,000's mana regen if you high roll it is broken, but like, why did that beat this 3 times in a row?
Can I look at your board again? Did your unexpected only give you gold?
I don't remember, but I got a million
Okay.
Crystal Gambit cash outs, so like unexpected shouldn't even matter at this point, right?
Yeah, you cashed out what? You have 2-star, 2-star. You mind playing the fight?
Yeah. Make this smaller. Can you still see this?
Yeah, I can still see it. I assume that Kaisa has like a trillion stacks.
And it's like a 2-item Kaisa because it's Lucky Gloves. Like, I don't understand
Yep.
how.
That one you can win, but so I'll tell you the things I noticed.
Okay.
Okay, so the reason why his board is so strong is Bronze for Life. That's the reason. That's it. His board has like that. If you like Bronze for Life is so good, and one of your what at this point. Okay, so there's a few things. A, he has Bronze for Life. B, he has Casante and you don't. Casante is the best tank in the game. So he's got like a quite a fair edge on where is this positioned? Yeah, okay. So what I see is his tank is better than yours. His combat is actually a little bit better than yours. And the thing, like if you look at this stuff, is he unstoppable? He does, right? Like basically your frontline units actually sit around for a long time not doing anything, and then he barely outpaces you with having just a little bit better damage in the back alongside some other stuff. And if you take a look at what happens here, your damage is actually incredibly diffuse over their board. Like if you look at the order which units die, it's
Okay.
like your TF and the other thing are on the Casante. Your Ash is like killing the mech for a while, and then it jumps to something else. Like it's not until like 10 seconds ish. Like you get really stuck on the Casante without your Ash focusing it.
Okay, so what I'm hearing is if I move both TF and Zyra here to focus fire, also my shred is not near my Ash.
Yes, yeah,
so I move
that's bad.
That over, move these two over to this side. If I focus fire, I should probably move this fruit off of the Lee Sin and put it on one of these backliners.
Yeah, that one doesn't do anything, right? I think if you have Mana Rusher, you easily win. I think if you have Mana Rush or probably Mage on Zyra.
Okay, and then I can even put this Braum in front of the Casante.
It's immune to CC, I think. I don't know if it can get thrown with Unstoppable, actually. I'm not 100% sure. But it wouldn't be bad.
If I just do all of those things, I should win this fight, I assume.
Yeah, you need to... You would want to not be... You want more damage, and you want to not start on the Casante. And you want your shred near your Ash, are like the important things.
Okay, so whenever you play against Casante, you just want to kill all the shitter units first.
Yes, the best case is you kill everything else on the entire board, and then it's just the Casante left over on pop, standing there with his resistance spell casting.
Okay.
Because then he's not doing anything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. If he doesn't have bronze for life, that fight's not even a little bit close, I think.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, let's dive into this game then. So this is Scuttle Puddle.
Hold is fine.
Would you have powered up there in case I got Golden Edge to get stacks?
No, I think so. The reason why, so the way I think through it is the following: there are a small number of power ups that stack on creeps, right? And that's the reason that you would do it now. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to do it now. The interesting situation comes from cases where you would want the unit to start on your board, but you wouldn't want it upgraded. You wouldn't want to fruit it. So like in the olden days, there were spots where on the last or the GP patch where you could have a Lucian and you would want to see if you have bullet hell on it. But if you had a GP or got dropped a GP, you would want the Lucian 2 on your board, but you would want the fruit on the GP, right? So in cases like those, you would shy away from early fruiting, even if you could like get some kind of stack or get knowledge on what you have to play around it. And so here, I think you would prefer to not use it quite yet, because the upside of the Golden Edge, like the one punish I can think of at least right now, is you might actually want to check other units first as well, right? Like if you got like a Kaisa or got a cat, you would want to be able to check those and then check the Gnar after, because you're on Gnar pair, maybe Gnar 2, right? But you wouldn't, like if you got a Gnar 2 here, you're not going to sell the Gnar and you don't want to use your remover, but you'd want to check you'd want to check one of the cats if you were to get it, right? So like if you want to check other units first, which tends to be like the more specific kind of units that you'd want to check, like cat or like maybe Kale some of the time, those are better, higher priority targets. And it's if there are possibilities of wanting to play the unit without having it fruited. So for example, there's like a fair number of cases where, I don't know, you could get a Malphite 2x2-1, right? And then you would play Gnar, Sivir, Malphite. Or if they were all 1-star, you'd probably still want to fruit the Malphite. And in which case you might want a Gnar or even a Gnar 2 on your board, but you would want a fruit on the Malphite rather than on the Gnar, especially if you're a crew.
Okay, that makes sense.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we want to make 10 here.
Yep.
And then, given that we have just sword, are we okay selling out of the Syndra? Or you?
Yeah, because you don't have any other part of the opener, right? And a lot of the strength comes from winning with it, or having like having an opener that can leverage the fact that it's strong. If you don't have an opener that can leverage the fact that it's strong, it's not particularly useful, right? Like you just want to play what your absolute best board is here. So I think it's fully correct to sell, and I think, in fact, you're probably supposed to sell. Yeah, okay. I think you're supposed to hold the Zac there, but it's fast.
Okay, yeah. Sell the last cannon for the Zac.
Yeah, sell the left too. Yeah, like the cannon doesn't do, like, how do you get to a, so here's what I'll say. My read is that the protectors are not very strong early. So if they're not very strong early, then even having like a cannon 2 for anything that's not like reroll is like pretty bad. So I think you're more likely to make a stronger opener having the Zac and the Neferi. So even if it's cannon pair, I wouldn't prioritize holding it. If I'm trying to play a tempo opener, especially on these components, because you're going to be like playing AD most of the time, right? Because you're a lot of the time you're gargoyle sword. So the cannon pair just isn't super valuable the way I see it.
Okay. None of these stand out. Like, given that bunch of pairs, I don't want time skip.
Yeah, these are all weak. Yep. Was this on the D patch, the new patch?
Yeah, this is on new patch.
Okay. Cool. So I like rolling all of them. So what do you think about here?
Given that I have a bunch of pairs and it's Econ portal, probably not clear mind.
Yeah.
Cloning facilities, like, okay, if I can hit a 2-star, like 2-trick seems okay. I don't really like any of them.
Yeah.
Between left 2, I don't know, I feel like they're kind of close.
Yeah, they're pretty close. I would analyze it in the same way. I think especially on if you had a better unit to clone, like it would for sure be the cloning, right?
Yeah.
Like if you had like
Any
like a
two-star.
NAR 2. Yeah, if you had a NAR 2, it would probably be cloning here. I think given you don't have any of them, it's fine to take 2-trick. I would the decision comes down to the following. Either so like it comes down to the following. A, on certain patches, there will be a good open line. I don't think that exists on this patch. So because that doesn't exist on this patch, you wouldn't want to take Clear Mind, but this would actually be a fairly good candidate for opening, especially if the lobby was strong. If you look around and it looks like it's very, very hard to win, even if you it's very, very hard to win even if you hit upgrades, then I think cloning is totally fine just to scale later into the game and have like something that can be very strong. It's important to know if you take cloning, what units are particularly strong to play with it. Do you have a concept of which units those are right now?
Last patch I would have played into volley, but this patch I actually don't know.
Cool. So the best unit to put on is just a Casante. Like Casante 1, Casante 2.
Okay.
That guy is too broken. So if I see this, I'm like leaning like volley's good. Yeah, like volley's good, but I would lean pretty heavily into playing a comp that can either play 2 volleys or maybe a little bit more niche. 2 Mundos would be not too rare from this spot either. So yeah, if you could play, if you think like, can I try to play towards a comp that has Casante in it? Maybe.
Right now that's just Yumi for the most part, right?
It's Yumi, and it's fairly good in Star Guardians too, because you can like run the second Casante, you can run a second Poppy. Is like not bad either. Like, especially if you have Poppy too. I think it's like pretty reasonable.
Given what we just said though, around like you only want to play.
Yes, you don't have the opener for that.
Yeah.
This is like a very like so. From here, the spot's not that good, right? And you're trying to look for ways to mitigate your lowest placements. Is how I see it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's best achieved by taking 2-trick and just jamming your absolute strongest board from this spot, and then letting the unit, like the actual units that you hit, dictate what are the kinds of comps you're going to lean from here. I think you're pretty likely to be. I think you're fairly likely to either be playing a reroll comp if you high roll one of the good 2-tricks that you can reroll. So if you hit like a Mundo 2 or like a Jin 2 or like a Kaisa 2, you can like pretty easily play into those.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, you just play your absolute strongest board with whatever you hit out of this 2-trick, and then you can play whatever line naturally extends out of that. So I think even like if you for some reason had to play Soul Fighter because those are the units that you got like a Xin 2 or something, it'd be pretty decent. If you had to play AP, then that's pretty comfortable. So we do that. So this is actually really nice to go through. Yeah, this is good. Yikes, those are so bad.
Yeah. Would you have done this earlier so that I could refruit?
Yes, I would refruit it. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you were like, ideally you would have more time here. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then the other thing is, I don't know if you saw it in chat, but someone called Kaisa as well. So that is something that's going to come up.
Yeah.
Out of these three, I wasn't sure which one to take. I guess Demolitionist.
I think Demo is actually technically the strongest one.
Yeah.
If you had Duelist, then you can take Kahuna. It's fine.
Okay. I realized afterwards that this is way too slow.
Yeah. But yeah, it's just reroll. Who's typing it? It doesn't matter.
Mike Mikko has two
Mikko?
Kaisas.
Okay.
So probably just Midas.
Yeah, I think it's Midas here. This is fine. Yeah, Gargoyle, sure.
I figure winning fights just lets me generate more gold and helps me get more
Yeah, the level's
touch.
fine. Yeah, the level's fine. I'm actually not convinced that the Kabuko is not stronger. I think the Kabuko is strong. Yeah. I think the Kabuko was stronger the last turn.
Okay.
Than the second Aatrox. Just because the heavyweight on the guy is good and the DR on your whole team is pretty good. It's also HP on all your other units. I mean, it's just a math equation.
This is the other guy that might go Kaisa, but my spot's way better.
Yeah, I think. Ooh, yeah, okay, you hold Jace, okay.
Would Jace have been stronger than Kobuko? Probably not because of mentor bonus.
I don't think so. No. Like the Jace without like traits is not very good. We have floating. Can you take shields?
I have open sword. I would have preferred glove.
Yep, that's fine.
And given that the other guy, depending on if the other guy actually tries to contest, I was considering Kate Jace.
Yes, I think that's the right consideration, especially on this patch.
Right.
I mean, pretty sure that guy plays Kaisa. He's insta 8th, but he might take him with you. Might take you with them.
Yeah. And then if I do stay in Kaisa, it's probably a Juggernaut frontline in this spot. It could still be Mentor, but
the other board is stronger right now.
The Mentor.
I think so, because if you actually wait, you already have Midas. Okay, if you didn't have Midas, getting the execute from the Supreme Cell plus the damage amp is a very, very large increase. Like a lot of these random 2-piece traits are just insane. Damage percent damage increases. A different example I can think of is like 2 snipers an insane percent damage increase if you look at it compared to like jumping up anymore. 2 prodigy is an insane percent damage increase.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like on the magnitude of like 20, 25, 30% damage increases in a fair number of cases. And I think Supreme Cell is in a similar bucket as the 2-piece. Like if I take a look right now, it's 12% damage amp and then it's a 10% execute. So like it's probably around 22% damage amp approximately, right? Yeah. I think 2 Executioner does something similar. Like if you get 2 Executioner on a unit that doesn't have any other crit item, it's still like almost a 25% damage increase. So given all that, plus the fact that like the heavyweight's pretty good, the Kabuko's like pretty decent, plus getting Mentor in, activating your like 2-piece, and 2 Duelist actually does a similar thing as well. You really want to value having the 2-piece and the damage amplified, especially because it's a Kaisa 2 in this spot.
Okay.
And I think that applies fairly generally, yeah.
If I do that, do we like
you can just hold. It's okay to hold. Like if you think about how much gold it actually costs you, at most it costs you 2 gold for the option of not having your game be completely screwed, if or like for having the option of having like a very good comp to play. If it was like a B tier line, I just would straight sell it and just contest Kaisa because the relative strength difference is pretty large.
Mhm.
But like if you're holding for a better comp that you can pivot into, assuming that your reader like slightly or like similar, which I think it is. I think Caitlyn is actually a better comp than this comp. I'm perfectly happy holding holding it, given that I probably act like at most lose 2 gold, right? Because you would lose 1 this turn and 1 the next turn, or it might just only be 1 because it's scuttle. Is it scuttle portal? It is, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's scuttle, and you would get up to 50 next turn, so it only really costs you 1 gold on this turn.
Okay.
Like one important thing is that like holding units that enable like your board to improve or enable you to play strong lines is really valuable, especially when the relative trade-off starts becoming a lot smaller. Like you really don't want to be doing this. You really don't want to be doing this at like 10 or 20 or like under 20 gold, because if you hold them, it implies you're still going to have to hold them the next turn, which delays not only your 20, it also delays your 30 and delays the interest that you get from those turns, right? So like on those turns, you're down like 5 gold out of your pocket, and you're also permanently down the interest that you're losing on those turns, right?
Mhm.
But if you get close to 30 and you like start getting and your engine's already running, then holding the 6 gold of units doesn't actually burn a 6 gold hole in your pocket over and over if you're above that line, right? Like if you had 100 gold, you would hold everything, right? But if you get close to 50, the relative cost of that decrease, even if you have to give up like another 50 interest break point, the relative cost of that is still really low. I think a lot of the instinct to want to sell here comes from like you got to make your early interest like econ breakpoints, and if this was like 14 making 20, you actually do have to sell. You have to sell something to make the 20. But if it's 30 making 40, that's a significant difference in comparison. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Given that we just said the mentor version is significantly better, would you and that we said Supreme Cell and like the heavyweights probably better, would it have
Oh,
been more
sorry.
optimal?
Specify. I actually didn't specifically say the mentor version of the comp is a lot better. It's that playing the cannon for 2 Supreme Cell and
Oh,
getting
okay.
the Koboko is is quite a bit better right now. That's what I was saying before.
Okay. Um, let's say I played the Kobuko and the Kennen. Would we be willing to sell the Juggernauts or no?
That's a good question. Uh, I think the answer is no, because I think the answer is supposed to be no because they're pretty likely to be played next like in some combination on your next board. So like you're fairly likely to be playing Kennen. Actually no, you're gonna roll on 3-1. You can I think you're fine to hold it because you for sure don't want to be playing. Okay, sorry. It's actually clearly correct to hold them. The reason why is because that has to be your level 6 unless unless you have rise, right? So if that has to be your level 6, it's by far the best level 6 you can play, right? It's the Kaisa 4 Jugs plus Darius. If that's by far the best level 6 you can play, you have to hold all of them to get as many of them upgraded as possible, or to get as close to the upgrade as possible. You get closer by holding them compared to making 40 here, right? So therefore you must hold it. Even if you intend on selling them later for mentors, you for sure should be holding, because you on 3-2, you want to do everything in your power to make your board really strong on 3-2, and that requires you having upgraded juggernauts, so therefore you should hold.
Okay, that makes sense. So this is probably a mistake there selling the Kobuko.
The mentor sell is fine, I think. I actually
Okay.
think it's okay to sell the mentor here.
Like I already found a Leona, which makes it harder to play the Jace Kate line.
A little bit.
A
It
little
doesn't.
bit.
I don't think it matters that much. Yeah.
Okay.
Um. Hmm. Hmm.
So you are rolling here to find 2-star jugs, or we can sit? I mean, I guess I should be scouting.
Yep. Yep. In general, Uh. Yeah. I'll be rolling here for all 2-star jugs. I'd be happy to dip to 20 to 2-star all my entire board. Because if you 2-star your entire board, you cannot lose.
Right. Okay.
I mean, if you win every matchup, obviously you don't roll, right? But I'd be happy if it was necessary to win. You can also deter the guy from contesting you if you roll earlier.
Oh yeah.
And like if you have 6 copies, it's probably like he's got a Kraken. He's probably not going to play it.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So out of these, probably Mace's Will.
Yeah, I like Maces. They're better than the other two for sure.
Yeah.
I like Maces. I think another one is actually pretty good here.
If I can get 2 like IEs.
I think it would be 2 tank items here because imagine this, right?
2 adaptives here.
Let me think about which item. I'm just pointing out that my instinct wants to take it, but maybe you can't. Like I would heavily consider finding some because it's not easy, right? It's not easy to exactly figure out right away what are all my hits for being able to play this, right? But it's incredibly powerful if you can get like the 3-item tank or the 3-item damage unit online right away. Does that make sense? Like I'm saying, you should for sure look to begin to calculate this line, and then if it's good, it's good. If you have no opportunity to take it, then you can't take it, right? But it's for sure powerful here because any 2 damage items would be very big. Like you could go like GS, or you could go GS, you could go, and here's where you realize there's not very many combinations. It could be like double Garg is okay. It could be double adaptive, 1 frontline, 1 backline into use the open component to make like an LW or a GS. Just some combination that rounds out all these items makes your board way, way, way stronger than it could be here. Like a hallmark, like what I see here is that I see that we for sure, and I think I would actually probably be taking another one here. In fact, given that there are those hits, there's adaptive as a fallback, and then like double GS is quite good as well. I think. So that's what I would see, and that's what I would take. And from my perspective, if we together visualize that board, right? That board is like a behemoth, unstoppable board on this stage, right? And that's what you kind of want to do. You want to make the most ungodly, unstoppable board with the decisions that you can, with your available options that you can possibly make. You don't want to sit here and like lose a few, especially because you're on especially because you're on win streak. You really want to get to the greatest powerful board that you can right now, and then like the item quality can be fixed later into the game because you can just like put some of them on a Kali. You can get your IE later. You can maybe find crit. You can find critical strike, which is not that bad. Are all like fairly decent options. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I would think I took Mace's Will because I was thinking I want Shred, but I agree with you. This is just stronger now, and so I should be thinking more in terms of especially if there's another streaker, it's like double whammy. So I should be making my board as strong as possible.
Yeah, exactly. Like for this comp, like one of the things I understood well is that like you want to make your board as humanly strong as you can without like you don't want to roll a 0, right? But you want to you're willing to trade a lot of resources now to be able to win because this is where a lot of the comps like placements come from. Like what determines like the comp is fairly good, right? What determines the band of placements that you get between like 2nd and 5th, right? It's literally the number of rounds you win right now. It's like especially on Scuttle Puddle, right? You want to win as many rounds as you possibly can, like literally deal as much damage as you can possibly get across, and that will be the thing that like at the end of the game is like knocking people into 1 or 2 placements below you, and how you close out like the strong placements in the game. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. So I should be rolling down to at least get the 2-star jugs here.
Yeah, like everything 2-star. You should be trying to 2-star everything here.
I was still trying to debate whether or not to go Caitlyn, but I should have just committed.
Yeah, like 6 copies you just commit. Like it doesn't matter at all. It actually doesn't matter at all if the guy has like 2 copies or whatever.
Yeah. All right, so I could just sell out the right side now.
Yep.
And then along the lines.
And by the way,
yeah.
Oh, I was gonna say, if you like, obviously, the result of this is you're winning, and if you were guaranteed to win in all your matchups, then you don't have to roll as aggressively as I'm saying, right? Because the adjustment you make in lobbies that are weaker is you don't need to roll as much, right? But typically, you just roll like it's very very cheap interest wise to roll the 32, and then like you can guarantee that you'll win all the time. But if you know for sure you're gonna win, you can greed the extra 2-3 gold. Like it's better to have more of the gold.
Yeah. The minimum resources needed to maximize your result.
Yeah. I assume you know the number of copies that are in the pool, right? For 2 costs.
Like 22?
It's like 25. I'm pretty sure it's 25.
Okay.
Which means that if that guy has 2 and you have 6, it does not matter that he has 2.
Okay, yeah.
Also, I wouldn't have moved the fruit here. The reason why is because actually I need to double check, but for a lot of units, the general concept, there's a lot of fucking garbage that exists on stage 3 and earlier, like especially stage 3 versus stage 4. Stage 4 is when all the scaling garbage disappears, so you're very happy to replace it then. But even like Midas is like pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I'd be pretty happy to play continue to play Midas just until 4-1. And if you felt like you wanted to be stronger to streak, I'd be actually more happy to be rolling away some of the interest gold to try to hit something to improve the quality of my board. Because like even if you roll a 20 here, right? Like I think you did you changed it on 3-5 because you saw someone strong. If you think about like the concept, like there's actually quite a complex set of line of reasoning you need to go down to evaluate rolling versus trying to like change your fruit. Obviously, rolling like 100% guarantee. Like if you roll and hit, you're for sure going to win, right? Mm-hmm. And you're fairly likely to hit from that point. The trade-off that I see in wow, that's pretty good. The trade-off that I see in my eyes is that if you continue to streak, you're making 4 gold a turn, right? If you win the round, you get 4 gold every turn if you continue to win. Going down to 20 costs you 3 gold that turn, 2 the next, and 1 the next, right? So I'd be very, very happy to roll very deeply down and get the 3-star Kaisa, which will guarantee that I can win. Additionally, if you hold on to Midas, it has 2 benefits. A, you can farm a gold, which can make back some of the deficit, and you're allowed to do that if you have the Kaisa 3, right? There's no risk to losing if you have the Kaisa 3. And then, secondly, you also increase your chances of having stronger boards on stage 4 and 5 because you're up an extra fruit to improve the quality of your unit, right? So both those things combined mean that there's like at least the way like in holistic evaluation in my eyes, you're quite a bit better off rolling to improve your board to keep your streak rather than changing your fruit, which doesn't do enough in a lot of cases anyways either.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. And especially since I was only 2 copies off, it's something like what 12
You're like
to, 12 to 15 gold per copy in expectation.
Yep.
Okay. I want to be mindful of your time.
Oh, I don't mind going past as long as like I'll just charge it proportionally. Yeah, if you're able to pay, that's fine.
Yeah, cool. How do you feel about this decision here?
You should for sure send 0 gold here. Roll. You should for sure roll the 0. I think.
Okay.
Because like, I think you're just losing gold by leveling here before you roll. Because if you roll there, it cheapens the cost to hit the Kaisa 3, and I'm pretty sure you don't care about anything else in this spot. Like you care about the Kaisa 3, and you're probably caring about like a Kali / other max cap ways to improve your board going from here. Like I think it's actually quite a big mistake to try to level for tempo and maintain 50 versus just roll down now and hit the Kaisa. Because I think you're much more likely to lose if you don't play with a plan to hit your Kaisa right now, right? Because this board is a lot weaker than even playing like you don't even have to have this like if you have Kaisa 3, you don't have to have one of these Juggernauts in your board, right? I think it especially because you're likely to hit the Vi 3 as well, right? If you roll down on 4-1, even if it takes you a lot of gold, even in like the like crazy low roll scenarios, you're sitting on like 20 gold. You have Vi 3, Kaisa 3. You just don't play the Mundo on the board, and then your board is pretty good by my estimation, right? It's better than the board that you have right now, and if you are going to low roll that much in level 6, it will be way worse to be low rolling on level 7, because right now you're not sitting with a stronger board. You're sitting with a weaker board than you otherwise would have hit. A lot of the a lot of the idea behind this level, where you level to 7 and then start rolling, is the fact that you weren't close to hitting otherwise. Well, like if you're on 3-4 GP, the send on level 6 is not that good. Like the chance you improve your board is not that high, right? For like that old version of the comp. And for other additional versions or other situations, there's like a variety of other comps where it was also a good idea to do this, but those tended to be because there were higher cost units that significantly spike your board, like Rise for any mentor board, or like the Akali would be pretty good here, but it's not even that good because you're only carrying one unit. There's some other example. I think not very many of those examples really truly exist. Like there's like many sets ago, like an old EDM Jax comp. You wanted to level to 7, but that's because once you got the 2 of the 4 costs online, your Jax became way stronger than it is right now. But that type of multiplier just doesn't exist for Kaisa to the same extent, and you're probably going to lose gold because your rolls are your 2 costs are more expensive to hit on this level compared to the previous one. So because your higher level units are not that important in this current moment, and because it's cheaper and stronger to do the alternative play where you roll on 6 first, I think that's what you should do here in this spot.
Gotcha. So I think I agree. I should roll to 0, like for the
on 4-1 on 6.
Yeah, like to the point around the macro picture around this comp is most of your placements are from winning stage 3 and 4.
Yep.
I think the point on level 6 versus level 7, I forget the math on the roll calculator, but doesn't it go from like 12 to 15 goldish to like at most 20 gold in expectation? I guess your concern is the extreme low roll situation.
Yeah, but is there a reason that you would want to lose the gold? Like if you could level to 7 and then start rolling versus roll first and then level to 7 on the exact same turn, is there a particular reason why you want to do it on 7?
So that we can hit. So I guess part of this is like we don't have the itemization for it, but then we would have higher odds of hitting Darius 3, Akali 2, Rise 2.
That's fair. I think the Darius 3 is not that strong in this comp. Yeah, I just think the Darius 3 isn't that good. You're not gonna have items on it for a while.
Yeah, so I think in this specific spot, I completely agree. Like I should have just rolled on 6. But let's say I had like buried treasures or something, and I could actually itemize him. Then would that change the analysis?
It would for sure influence it. It would for sure influence it. I think.
I assume you would want to itemize Darius 3 over Akali 2, especially after the nerfs, as a secondary carry. Or is there a better secondary carry?
You would. If you had a lot of items, you would, but
because like this is kind of like GP and Yasuo from last patch or 2 patches ago, right? Like you really would cap out with Yasuo 3.
Yes. I think I would like even if you had more items, I would still prefer to roll here. Just roll on 6 first, because the differential is not that great, and depending on how much you actually have to roll. Okay, here's what I'll say. I think the power difference between the Darius and the Kaisa is too large that you just want to try to hit the Kaisa now, and then you can like decide later based on the number of copies that you hit for Darius if you want to play for it or not. I think, like, even if you had 3 Darius items, I think you wouldn't want to be rolling a lot of your gold on level on levels, what is it called, on level 7 anyways. I think you would probably want to try to be rolling more of it on 8 because your board is a lot stronger on 8 once you get 4 Juggernaut in, I think.
Okay.
Like I think leveling to 7 in, like, if you had a lot of items is okay. Like I think the EV between those two are actually much closer, but just here, like no items on Darius, you're for sure not supposed to optimize for hitting the Darius 3, I think.
Okay.
Yikes.
None of these look great. I like Hold the Line the most out of them, but don't really love it.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, I
I
should
would take
probably be
Radiant
taking
instantly.
Radiant.
Yeah, I would snap that off.
Yeah. I don't know why I didn't take it.
I mean,
I think my concern was that I would end up with a tank item. I guess, do you know if there's some heuristic that protects against that? Like, are we almost...
like, you end up with only tank items?
Or, like, let's say AP and tank. That was my concern. If I didn't have 3 tank items already, I would have instantly took this, I think. Not that I would want a tank item, but...
Yeah, in this specific spot, you can move the adapter to the back line and then shuffle it around later, and that'd be fine. But is there something that protects you? No, you could low roll, but I think the expected value is too good. I think.
Okay.
Like any AD item here is insane, I think.
Yeah, agreed. Like if I knew I would get AD item, I would have taken this.
Yeah, like I assume you would snap off Refractor or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so that's a big mistake.
Oh, I
should be rolling here.
This? Yeah.
Like roll diff for sure.
Yep.
I think it probably just took.
Is there a reason you really want to get 4 Mentor online? Like, it's not bad.
As opposed to what?
4 Jug, 4 Supreme Cell with this 3-star buy.
Oh, okay. I guess I just assumed it's better. I actually haven't done it. I need to do like a deeper dive into this. Yeah, if I have a like 3-star Jug, I should be putting 4 Jug, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm playing the Mentor variant, I should really be trying to 3-star like Kobugo. But the moment I'm committing to the Jugs, I just forget about the Mentors.
Yeah. Yep. That's right.
Okay. Any like of this bat or pan would be okay for the bow, or I could take a Kaisa for Sunfire because I don't have anti-heal, but then I'm like,
I mean,
not
from
getting
this
a third
spot,
item. Yes.
Yeah, the most important item to get is a 3rd Kaisa item here. So because you're already playing for this, I'm pretty sure you're for sure supposed to take Darius' sword, and it's not actually that close. Okay. Because it's your 6th Darius, you're playing for the Darius, you will have items for the Darius, right? It's the sword for GS, which I think is the best bow item you're going to make a lot of the time. You can make, you can get to a Styrax if you want some of the time. But like those are your options, and I think it's for sure. Like if you were sitting here in a comp that has to win right now, and we're already kind of slipping a little bit, you do not want to increase your chances of losing rounds even after you hit, and that's most likely to happen when you're down an item, right? If you're down an item, you might as well not even have the 3 stars. Like you have a 2-star with a 3rd item, so you want to be stacking that as quickly as you can because that's like the whole. That's what makes the strongest thing now, which is which answers a lot of like the kind of close-ish situations, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, you get the Kaisa 3, but like you would, given the way you've played this, you want to be playing for the Darius anyways, right? It appears, right?
Uh-huh.
So
okay,
you should kind of stick to that plan.
Okay.
Here you make a itemization error, I think.
Nasher?
Oh no! Like I think your distribution is wrong.
Oh, move adaptive to Kaisa?
Yeah. Move it out.
Okay. Okay. And then if I moved adaptive to Kaisa, then it's probably mage. Since I'm
Oh,
casting so frequently? Or is
I
that
think it might still be. I think it might still be double strike. I don't know. Like, I think. Okay, I think. Okay, I think a lot of. Okay, for some, I think there's.
Does her ability when she fires all those bullets count as attacks?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
Just the reason why is because double strike can be actually fairly useful in getting like okay. So the thing that I'm starting from is I've played both, and the double strike feels stronger. My theory for why it's the case is there's a fair amount of damage that actually comes from the auto attacks. B, the double strike can stack duelist up faster, like a bit, which is like it can be like 2 to 3% extra additional damage because you have the stacks up faster, right? If you get like an earlier proc. And the double strike is just like it also allows you to cast faster as well. So I don't have the greatest answer for you, but I think double strike is stronger for like those two reasons, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think I ever considered that with duelist and being able to generate more mana. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the radiant item plus the GS would have made a huge difference.
Yeah, like there was a line of decisions that lead you to be 100 HP here, right? Like even by this turn.
Yeah. And I should be deploying my gold.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a world that I could have full streaked stage 4. Instead,
Yeah.
I botched a
This
really
one,
good spot.
Yeah. This one, no, I think the radiant item would still win that one. I think. Like radiant plus, you would probably be level 8. You would either be level 8 or you would have Darius 3 by that point in the game. I think.
Mm. And then, given that I have no items for Darius, I should just level for Mentor. If I had items, then I could consider rolling.
Yes, yeah, but like not enough items is just not very good. Okay, well, straight to 9, yeah.
Okay, this also is awkward. Item efficiency wise, I think it's just sword. What? Edge of Night Rageblade? But if I want best item, it's just GS.
Yeah, it's like GS. You have Bludgeoner. I would reroll this again and like hopefully I get crit strike or something.
Yeah. So is it GS then?
Yeah, I think you have to make the best item for Kaisa because it's the like you actually have almost no board other than the Kaisa if you look at it.
Yeah. Okay. I did not do that. I was hoping that the Edge of Night could go on a Kali as a secondary carry, but my Kaisa is just like tickling people.
Yeah.
Oh, also, I just realized the Rage Blade and Precision is completely anti-synergistic.
Yeah, it's actually not even that bad, but it's not very good. Okay, it's pretty bad. You'd rather have any item that gives you like damage emperor, especially crit.
I thought I made mistakes this game, but I made way more than I even originally thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just you must get all the items on the guy on your carry. You must get the best items on your carry. You must roll for your like your carry in a tempo comp when because it's not really a win out comp, right? So if it's not really a win out comp, when you can hit it, you can just roll for it, and literally, if the level up doesn't matter, so in this comp, the level 8 is actually important because you will get 4 Supreme Cell online with your other 4-piece trait, but if the level up doesn't matter, you can just straight roll the 0, I think, to hit it when you're like pretty close to about even to hit it, like when you're about EV to hit it. I think there's not that many comps where the level ups don't matter, but that's an important consideration, I would say. Like you want to consider, do my level ups actually, do my level ups matter here or not?
Also, there should be adaptive Akali and some fire.
Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Yeah, so I think the placement you're supposed to go is like probably second.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So summary. Early game, I should have in stage 3 rolled far more aggressively. Need to really prioritize getting 3 item on my Kaisa.
And your tank if you can, yeah. Like on all the important units on the board.
Yeah, and my tank. I should have been playing Jug because I had a 3-star Juggernaut. Optimized on that synergy over the Mentor variant. Although I guess I did not eventually. I think the broader macro point is, given that this is not a win out comp, I need to just be as strong as I could at the key points in the game when it's supposed to be strong, which was stage 3 and 4. And I basically lost out on all of stage 4 because I did not optimize for that.
Yeah.
Any other high level takeaways?
I think those are the important ones. Like those are like the big takeaways.
Okay.
I think maybe one more on like pivoting. Because you were I think you lost EV, like considering if you were to pivot.
Mm-hmm.
If your spot is like good enough, for the comp that you are like there actually needs to be a big significant trade-off to make you pivot from what is naturally your best spot, I think, because usually it's very rare that it's right to pivot once you're like already committing a lot of resources into and like resources and like specific unit holds into a certain comp. So if you can envision like like your game plan going smooth, like if you can envision your game plan going relatively smoothly forward from your spot that you're currently at, even if someone tries to throw a wrench in it, if you can like weather the storm, then just don't really bother pivoting, I think. Like the fact that you were considering pivoting there means that you're probably actually pivoting in some spots where you shouldn't be.
Yeah. So even in the spot, like let's say the other guy already hit their Kaisa 3, even then.
Okay, then it's like if you have a fine Caitlyn spot, then yeah, you play Caitlyn. If you have a bad Caitlyn spot, then it's like you're trying to manage you're trying to scrape by the most number of placements that you can, right? So
let's say this is the spot, but we know, let's say we know that the other guy already hit Kaisa 3 here.
Yeah. So if we know that,
it seems like I could still eke out a top 4 by just like
rolling,
to 0, and just still keeping Kaisa.
Yeah, you roll for strongest word. You don't have to necessarily go for the Kaisa 3, but you must necessarily go for every tank 2-star, right? And like especially if you made like the 3 items here, you can just tempo your way into a top 4. Like it's fully doable.
Right. Okay. Okay, so there's just no
And
world
then,
where pivoting here makes sense.
yeah, not really, no. Especially because you like are full win, you have a lot of the stacks. Um, it would be very, it would just be too weak. It's the big problem is like if you have a Sterax here, it's like it's actually a different story. But you don't, right? You have a Gargoyle, which like leans you away from like playing Caitlyn Jace, I think.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Appreciate the coaching sessions. Super helpful.
All right, no problem. Glad it was helpful for those watching on YouTube. You can DM me on Discord for coaching as well. So yeah. Glad you found it helpful, and yeah, if you got any questions, you can shoot my way.
Sounds good. Talk to you later.
All right, see ya.